Hi guys. Okay, this is Kataya. Kataya is my little squashmallow. So I love Kataya. So you'll just have to excuse that she's going to join me as I go through our story time tonight. And the story I want to share tonight, the title of it is The Pitbull Ate My Poodie. The Pitbull Ate My Poodie. So it all started. My neighbor has a pit bull. As a matter of fact, has two. But there's only one of them that I really like, and his name is Bouncer. And Bouncer is a blue and white pit bull, gorgeous breed, well taken care of, all of that. Bouncer is just the pride of my neighbor Troy. And Troy and Bouncer are doing their thing in their yard, and me and Poodie, my little French Poodle, are doing our thing in our yard. But whenever I go outside and Bouncer's out there, he comes to the fence and greets me just like a normal little sweet dog. And Poodie goes to the fence and sniffs Bouncer, almost as if they're in love or some kind of unknown communication with each other. And as I think about it, it was a beautiful little relationship. You know, I was friends with Troy, Poodie was friends with Bouncer, and everything was good up until this happened. And I don't know. I've waited to share this story because, well, one, emotionally, I just couldn't deal with it. And secondly, I'm just not sure how it comes across, because it's like, you know, it's possible to love people, even people, animals, whatever. I mean, they're just as close to you as family. And you know, if you have with my little Poodie, that was like my child. And I had two dogs before. Well, I've actually had more than two dogs before, but most recently in the last 10 years or 15 years, I've had two dogs. One was Max, and he was about 100-pound boxer, gorgeous dog. I may show a picture when I do the video, but just a gorgeous dog. And I lost him to cancer and heart disease in 2015. And then A Million was the other one. And he was a little mixed breed. And I remember going in a parking lot over in Dallas. And I literally saw a Mercedes-Benz pull up in the parking lot, open the door. And I'm thinking, you gotta be joking me. I know they're not gonna litter in the parking lot. Because you know how people open the door and drop trash out? And I'm thinking, there's all these big trash cans. They're pulling over to open the door to litter or throw up. One of the two. Either one I didn't want to see. And then they open the door, close the door, drive off, and left standing there is this little itty bitty mixed breed puppy. And I immediately went and picked him up, and he was so precious, just days old. So precious. And I'm thinking to myself, or probably not days, I'd say weeks, but not many. I mean, literally, they were obviously just dropping them in various places, knowing that someone's going to pick them up, which is exactly what I did. And my goal was to pick him up and find a home. And it ended up being that he did find home in my home. So I said, well, A Million will be Max's dog. So Max basically had to care for A Million. So I had two dogs at that time, and lost Max on May 25th of 2015. May he rest in peace. And then I lost A Million on January 19th of 2019. May he rest in peace. And he passed away of a dog's version of meningitis. And so I swore off dogs after that. I said I would never get another dog, ever, ever, ever. And so, you know, up until Poodie came into my life, I just had little Kataya. So if I wanted to snuggle, I have little Kataya. So, but yeah, so back to Poodie. So Poodie, I mean, he wasn't Amelia, he wasn't Max, but he was my Poodie, right? He was my Poodie. And Bouncer was just he's a puppy. Doesn't mean any harm, but he is what he is. He's a Pitbull, which is an inbred dog in a lot of places. I mean, years and years of inbreeding. And I'm sure that happens with a lot of dogs, but specifically with pit bulls, they tend to become either extremely unpredictable at best or extremely aggressive dogs, especially when it comes to smaller dogs and babies. And so, but that wasn't the case. I mean, with Poodie, Poodie was like his dog, and they played together and everything was good. And so on Fridays was my day, or is my day, to go out and run my errands. And so I get my work done early up in the day, and then I go get my errands run before people start getting off work and everything gets crazy. So I go and I get Poodie ready to go outside, because I usually leave Poodie in the backyard while I go run my errands. It only takes me 10 or 15 minutes. I got to go pick up a few things. I call in my groceries so they're ready at curbside pickup and I'm good to go. So I'm getting ready just like any other day. And I get a call from Troy, and he says, hey, I know you're getting ready to run some errands. Do you mind if Bouncer can come hang with Poodie? And I thought, well, it was a little bit of a weird request, because he has 2 dogs, but he only asked for the one. But, I just thought, okay, no big deal. He's fine. Poodie's gonna be in the backyard. Bouncer can come in the backyard. They can play. I can run on my little 15-30 minute journey to pick up some things from the store and come back. And so I did that, and I go to the store. And when I get to the store, it was actually crowded. So I don't know if it's that now the winter weather's starting to show up and people are kind of thinking like me, let's get to the store before the weekend. But it was a little bit more crowded than I thought. I stood longer than I thought waiting. And anyway, so I don't know, let's say about an hour later, I come back and I get home, and I don't see Poodie, but I don't see Bouncer, but I hear the movement in the backyard, and I thought, okay, they're good. So I'm exhausted. I put the groceries away, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to take a quick 15-minute nap. Let them keep playing, because I really don't like, Bouncer's cool, but I don't like him in my house. I mean, Poodie is a house dog. Bouncer is a house dog, but probably who shouldn't be a house dog. So no. So I just said, we'll leave him outside. But I didn't, if I were to do everything again, I'd probably go in the back and check for him. But I didn't do that. And so I went to sleep. And so that 15-minute nap ended up becoming, I don't know, 45 minutes, whatever. Whenever the doorbell, I have the Ring camera alarm thing, whatever you want to call that thing. And so anytime you're within so many feet of the porch, it starts doing all these rings. Ding, 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 And so it wakes me up. And I realize, oh, that's Troy. He's at the door. He's coming to get Bouncer. So I have him meet me around back, and I go open the gate, let Bouncer out. And I'm steady looking for Poodie, and I'm thinking, okay, Poodie must be under, I have like the lounge chairs outside where they have the movable pillows. And so one thing about Poodie, sometimes if it's raining or if something scares him or a loud noise, he'll go up under there and just kind of snuggle up under the pillows under the little sofa couch thingy. So I thought, well, he's obviously there. So I'm looking at Bouncer. Bouncer is looking pretty normal. I mean, he looks a little plumper than I noticed before, but other than that, nothing else seemed weird about it. And so Troy takes Bouncer and they go home, and I'm, steady looking, and I'm calling. Don't see don't see Poodie anywhere. Don't see Poodie anywhere. So I'm looking. And finally I come back in the house and I call Troy and I'm like, I can't find my dog. And he's like, what do you mean? He was in the back when I got Bouncer. And I'm like, did you see him? And he goes, no, but they were in the back. I mean, if one got out, they both would have got out. And I said, that's what I know, but I don't see Poodie. And I'm like, and I left water out, but I didn't put food out because it wasn't time to eat. But I did notice that Bouncer looked a little plumper. And he said, oh my God,